Let's begin what's trending, highlighting the security report from the National Security Advisor, Ribadu, who on Monday assured Nigerians that pupils and staff abducted from St. Mary's Private Catholic Primary and Secondary School in Niger State are in good condition and will soon be reunited with their families. Speaking during a solidarity visit to the Catholic Bishop of Katagora Diocese, Bulus, and the proprietor of the school, Ribadu revealed that international partners, including the United States of America, France, the United Kingdom, and other European countries, are rallying behind Nigeria in the fight against terrorism and banditry, noting that the whole world is coming together to stop and defeat what he described as an evil that has been going on in Nigeria for 2 decades.
Now, it has been ongoing for a while, but work is ongoing. Work is in progress. We don't need to give details of what has been ongoing, what is happening. But we can assure you, it's a matter of time. This thing will stop. We must stop it, and we are going to stop it. I'm telling you, enough is enough. Like I said, very painful, honestly. Many of us, as you see us, don't even sleep. Many of us are going through the worst moments of our lives. Many of our people are also killed every single day. We bury our best. We bury those who sacrifice their lives for you, for all of us, every single day. And we will continue to do it. We will not relent. We will not stop. We can give you the assurance that we are going to be there.
All right, this is a significant development in what has become one of the most brazen school abductions in recent times. 315 people, mostly children, taken from a Catholic school in broad daylight. Ribadu's assurance that the students are doing fine is good to calm families and, of course, the nation. But the real test is bringing them home safely and swiftly. Meanwhile, the Northern Governors Forum has announced the creation of a regional security trust fund under which the 19 northern states and their local government areas will contribute a combined 1 billion naira monthly to confront the escalating banditry, terrorism, and kidnapping ravaging the region. The forum described illegal mining as a major contributory factor to the security crisis in the north, accusing artisanal miners and their sponsors of funding banditry and terrorism. The governors also called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to direct Dele Alake, the Minister of Solid Minerals Development, to immediately suspend all mining activities in the region for 6 months to enable a comprehensive audit and revalidation of licenses. Well, Kaduna State Governor Uba Sani at the meeting stated that as the northern governors make strides in tackling insecurity, they still face a troubling trend of deliberate politicization of insecurity by some opposition actors. Let's take a listen.
A few voices driven by narrow political motives have worked to create the impression that northern governors have grown complacent or inactive. Nothing could be further from the truth. We know the weight of the mandates entrusted to us. Every governor seated here works tirelessly to secure our communities. We coordinate, compare strategies, share intelligence, and hold one another accountable. Our people deserve stability, opportunity, and hope, and we have never relented in our duty to deliver this.
All right, this was a very, very welcoming meeting. I thought that, the northern governors did very well in meeting and talking about insecurity that has been plaguing us. And the northern governors also reaffirmed, their wholehearted support for the creation of state police and urged northern, federal, and state lawmakers to fast-track the required constitutional amendments, encouraging National and State Assembly members in the region to expedite action for its actualization. Let me just start with you, Vimbai, with the meeting, the Governors Forum, as well as, Nuhu Ribadu, reassuring, Nigerians that our girls will return. I believe about 285 or 84 of them are still out there missing. And, we took the story, Dr. Bati, you weren't here, where, the Niger State Governor talked about the fact that I think 11 students were rescued. And that was quite controversial because he didn't give Nigerians the assurance that we want to hear. So it's good to hear that the National Security Advisor is here collaborating and saying that we have technology in place. We have even international partners that are going to be partnering with us to bring our girls back home.
Yes, absolutely. I think the reassurance is welcome and it's important, but I'm not sure it's the message that Nigerians really want to hear at the moment, because what we've established is that we know where they are, and it seems that by insinuation, it means we know who's keeping them. The argument has been put forward that, the reason why we don't just move in on these people is to avoid collateral damage and so forth. But at this point, I think we need a specific position on whether or not we negotiate with bandits and terrorists. I listened to the governor of Gombe State, I believe Yahaya, yesterday, who was saying that, negotiating with bandits is not a northern problem, it's a national problem. So it seems that there needs to be a specific direction and strategy around this. I don't want to say too much because they're in captivity. It's clear there's a negotiation going on, and I don't want to, seem to add information that might jeopardize that process. But we do need to take a firm decision about that. Now, very quickly to the northern governors, we saw the southern governors came together and they met. We would have expected actually the northern governors to have been the first group to meet, given that the epicenter is situated in the north, but better late than never. Concerns around the suspension of mining for 6 months, for me personally, number one, we all know the role that mining plays and the proceeds of illegal mining plays in fueling all this insecurity that's happening beyond Nigeria, Burkina Faso, Mali, even as far as Sudan. It's gold proceeds, illegal gold mining proceeds that are fueling the procurement of arms and all other activities. These bandits put in protection fees and so forth for these illegal and artisanal miners. Banning for 6 months for an audit, for a revalidation of licenses, for me seems like a very superficial proposition when we know that the problems are deeper rooted. The Ministry of Solid Minerals has taken significant steps in dealing with this menace. There is a mining marshal's corps. It has over 2,600 officers, and they have been closing down illegal mines. They've been evacuating people. They've done so for over 400 mines. Can't we strengthen that force and see what results we can get from that, instead of creating this 6-month moratorium where it seems like we just want to remove our players and our people of interest from the scene of the crime, and then suddenly say, okay, we can mine again. It's an amnesty in colorful language, and we're not looking for an amnesty on banditry in the north at the moment or terrorism in the north. We're looking to tackle it, find the people responsible for it, and deal with them once and for all decisively.
I slightly disagree with you on this score, Vimbai, because I believe that, the stoppage of these terrorists at this point, I believe is the most crucial thing that the northern governors can do. And suspending mining for 6 months means everybody or anybody in that area should stop work, right? And then so in doing so, there won't be people in that area. There wouldn't be politicians like Governor Ubasani has alluded to, saying that they are the ones, stifling and also funding the terrorism that we see in that region, in that northern region.
Yes. In one sentence, we know that the networks extend to Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali, Chad, Benin Republic. Yes. So all they will do is they'll flee to neighboring countries. We haven't secured our borders.
Well,
once the 6 months is over, that means they'll just come. Mind. So in 6 months, they'll just come back because you haven't dealt with the fundamental issues.
I love that. But that's why there's the 1 billion Naira fund that they're going to use to secure their area. I mean, this is what I get from the meeting, which I think
it is entitled to take away different things.
Which I think it is quite encouraging also to see. The 6-month moratorium, the 6-month period, I hope that the northern governors will use that opportunity to secure their territory, like Vimbai has suggested as well. Dr. Abati, I'd like to come to you on it before I'd like to take this story before I come to you. Talking about, politicians funding terrorism. Meanwhile, former Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabo, has alleged that some politicians are funding terrorism in Nigeria. Irabo spoke on live television, stating that while he was Chief of Defense Staff, some trials were initiated against individuals identified as financiers of terrorism, noting that several people are being called to question over their alleged involvement. He also stated that Christians are being targeted in the country, adding that there are many individuals who are being investigated for their roles in funding terrorist activities. Let's take a look.
But the reality is that our issues, in terms of security challenges, are multifaceted, implying that just as you have terrorists who have an ideology, you equally have those who are bent on targeting Christians, and there are also those who are also targeting communities. That does not mean that some politicians have not taken advantage of the insecurity of the state of under governance, as it were, if I may use that coinage, to want to perhaps gain some form of leverage to score the point that there is poor governance. They could also instigate certain crises in one way or the other.
So, General, for the fact Christians are being targeted.
Of course, some Christians are being targeted. No doubt about it.
For a fact, politicians are funding terror in this country.
Some politicians.
Yeah.
If I wouldn't want to say.
So when I say politicians, that means that there are the politicians who are funding it.
Well, this is a significant revelation from a former Chief of Defense Staff. Although he did not name specific politicians or provide details about the ongoing investigations, the allegations that politicians are funding terrorism raises serious questions about the depth of the security crisis and whether it is purely a military problem or a political one with powerful interests benefiting from the chaos. Meanwhile, the regional leader of the Church of Christ in Nations, Reverend Ezekiel Dachemo, who has consistently been outspoken about the issue of Christian genocide in Nigeria, condemned the fact that Nigeria's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Vice President Kashim Shettima are both Muslims. Speaking on live television on Monday, Dachemo called the move a complete genocide against Christians. Let's take a look.
And Shettima is a Muslim. The president is the Muslim. Is that not complete genocide to Christian in the political world? A complete genocide. They are displaying Islamic agenda. They want to control the whole country.
Dachemo there saying that the Muslim ticket is a Christian genocide. I mean, this is not a new controversy. The Muslim ticket was one of the most contentious issues of the 2023 presidential election, with many Christian leaders and groups opposing it on grounds that it violated Nigeria's unwritten principle of religious balance in governance. Reverend Dachemo's characterization of it as a complete genocide is particularly a strong language, which many may not agree with. Dr. Abati, I'd like for you to tie in both stories. First, with the Chief of Defense Staff, saying that there's an ongoing investigation on the issue of, politicians funding or those that are funding terrorism in Nigeria. And also, on the other hand, Dachemo here has, raised that controversy again about the Muslim ticket in Nigeria.
General Lucky Irabo was Chief of Defense Staff.
Yes.
And here was he in a television interview saying that some politicians, some major figures are funding terrorism. Well, it's not saying anything new. Mm-hmm. The Americans at the time, the State Department, in fact, said, terrorism in Nigeria, banditry in Nigeria was being funded by certain notable figures. And I think they collaborated with the Nigerian government. I think it was also the United Arab Emirates at the time who named some Nigerians that they said were involved in terrorism financing within the spectrum of cooperation, international cooperation to fight this challenge. The Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit also at the time came forward and said they were trying some people, investigating some people. The question is, what happened with all those investigations? What happened with the persons who were being investigated? And then General Lucky Rabo, as CDS, being a chief of defense staff, is a major position. You know, he has access to a lot of information. What I would have expected would have been for the former chief of defense staff to say, oh, these are some of the persons, or this was the point we reached, because Nigerians will know who are those persons. Everybody says they exist, but nobody has done anything to them. So this reign of impunity continues. Now, as for the National Security Advisor going to Kutangura to meet the Catholic Bishop of Kutangura Diocese, the proprietor of St. Mary's Primary and Secondary School, and also the parents of the affected over 300 students. I said earlier, that shows empathy. It's a reaffirmation of the fact that the Nigerian government, the Tinubu administration, has been consistent in identifying with people when they are, facing distress. And they've improved in terms of their response time. That same place, the federal government had sent a team there before, issued a statement. Now the National Security Advisor goes there and says, we will do whatever it takes to make sure that the remaining children are freed. And I think that, that is good in terms of optics, as I said earlier on. The thing to suggest is that the National Security Advisor should keep his promise, not only with the children in Niger State, in Papiri, that's where the school is located, but generally across the country, so that this environment can be safe for all of us. You talked about the northern governors. The northern governors have been meeting since 1955, either with education or they say they want to address poverty and all of that. And anytime they meet like that, we see it as a good gesture, good initiative. After all, their job as leaders, as government, is to defend the interests of their people. But the major concern here is that these meetings often do not yield concrete results. And we just hope that this particular meeting, this time around, by the Northern Governors Forum, will not be another talk show. They say they are creating a Northern Security Trust Fund. That Northern Security Trust Fund will have to be managed, and the management will have to be in collaboration with the existing security infrastructure. As for suspension of licenses, I said in September, Mr. Dele Alake, the Minister of Solid Minerals, already took a step in that direction. But there can be collaboration to make sure that the states work with the federal government.
Yes,
the
devil
is in the details.
The devil is in the details. They have to collaborate to work with the federal government with these steps that you have said that Dele Alake has put in place. But I do welcome that suspension, and hopefully those region or the mining region will be free from banditry for a bit. So good one on the northern governors there.